What happens when a live television moment spirals into something no one expected? When the polished calm of a daytime talk show fractures under the weight of a single confrontation, and millions of eyes watch as two powerful personalities collide with raw honesty neither planned to expose, the studio of The View buzzes like a beehive seconds before air. Crew members glide between cameras, the makeup team rushes to dab a final shimmer of powder, and the floor manager taps a clipboard rhythmically, an unconscious signal of rising tension. The audience murmurs with the expectant energy of people waiting to witness something unscripted, something electric. Backstage, Mila Kunis stands in front of a tall mirror bordered with frosted bulbs. Her reflection is steady, but her fingers tap against the edge of the vanity. Soft, rapid, restless. She rehearses a breath. She rehearses a smile. She rehearses an answer she knows Joy Behar is going to push for. She can already feel the sinkhole forming in her stomach. A producer approaches her, headset crooked around her neck. 2 minutes, Mila. Mila nods. Yeah, okay. You good? The producer asks, though she barely pauses to hear the answer. Of course, Mila says with a smile that fools most people, but not herself. She smooths the sleeve of her blazer, then looks back at the mirror. Her eyes flicker with something else. Exhaustion, maybe, or a quiet determination. From the hallway, a burst of laughter erupts. Joy Behar's voice rises above the others. Warm, familiar, but with an undertone that could cut steel if she aimed it right. Mila hears her name mixed into the laughter. She pretends she doesn't. Instead, she rolls her shoulders, inhales once more, and steps toward the light. The stage is a kaleidoscope of brightness. Warm-toned panels wash the set in sunlit gold, an illusion of comfort. 4 hosts sit poised, each with their memory aids, coffee mugs, and stacks of cards. Joy sits at the center left seat, leaning back like she owns the energy of the entire room. The audience begins applauding as Mila enters from stage right. The camera dollies smoothly, catching her smile, even if her eyes are calculating. She takes her seat between Whoopi and Joy. Joy glances sideways at her. Well, look who decided to grace us with her presence. Mila chuckles politely. Good to be here. Whoopi lifts a brow, noting the tone instantly. She tilts her head, silently warning Joy to behave. The red light atop camera 2 blinks on. Whoopi's voice bellows warmly. Welcome back to The View, everyone. We have a very special guest today. Actress, producer, and all-around powerhouse, Mila Kunis. Applause. Mila smiles. Joy smirks. Then the segment begins. A scripted start. A predictable rhythm. Small talk about Mila's upcoming film, its emotional depth, the stunt work she insisted on doing, the behind-the-scenes camaraderie. Everything is flowing, until Joy decides to shift. She leans forward, voice deceptively casual. So Mila, I've got to ask, you've had some commentary floating around online lately, and people want to know. You said in an earlier interview that you regretted certain comedic roles. Some folks thought you were throwing shade at the directors. Care to clarify? A ripple runs through the audience. Mila's smile flickers. This wasn't on the pre-interview sheet, but Joy is waiting, chin lifted, hinged like a trap. Yes, Mila says steady. I clarified that already, actually. I said I've evolved as an actor. I'm proud of my past work, even if I'd approach things differently now. Joy narrows her eyes. But that's not what you said originally. Originally you said, and I quote, I don't know what I was thinking when I took some of those roles. Sounded pretty critical. Well, Mila replies, tone sharpening. Context matters. Tone matters. So does headline twisting, which happens constantly. Joy laughs. Oh, come on, don't blame the headlines. You said what you said. The audience murmurs. Whoopi glances at the producers off stage. Sunny clears her throat softly, ready to intervene, but Joy barrels forward. Just admit it. Some of those old projects embarrass you. Hollywood types love rewriting their own history. Mila's jaw tightens. Joy, I'm not rewriting anything. I'm allowed to outgrow things, you know? Joy's smile is a thin blade. Except when you say it on national TV, we're allowed to ask what you meant. Mila stares at her, long enough that the studio lights reflect sharp in her eyes. Ask yes, she says slowly, but you're not really asking. You're trying to corner. The audience reacts, soft, surprised. Joy's posture stiffens, just slightly. "Oh, sweetheart, if I wanted to corner you, you'd know." Whoopi mutters, "Lord, here we go." Mila leans forward now, calm but firm. "Joy, let's not pretend you don't pick and choose which guests you push harder on. I've watched the show. You poke, you prod, you try to get a rise so you can call it a moment. Not today." Joy's eyebrows shoot up. The audience gasps softly. "Oh, so now you're telling me how to do my job?" "No," Mila replies. "I'm telling you you're doing too much." A wave of tension rolls over the room. The floor manager steps forward off camera, hesitant, unsure if he should signal a cut. Joy laughs, but it's not her typical warm laugh. It's sharper, edged with challenge. "You think you're the only actor who's ever been asked to clarify something? Honey, take a number." Mila's voice drops low. "Then clarify with the intent to understand, not to provoke." Joy's expression flashes, just for a moment, with something Mila didn't expect, irritation mixed with something older, something unspoken. "What are you implying?" Joy demands. "That sometimes," Mila says, "it feels like you're asking questions to make people look foolish instead of giving them space to be human." The studio is silent now. Sunny's eyes widen. Sarah's mouth presses into a tight line. Joy leans back, crossing her arms. "I've been doing this longer than you've been an adult. I don't need a lecture on humanity. And I don't need to be ambushed," Mila fires back. The tension is no longer background static. It's a live wire. Whoopi holds up her hands. Ladies, let's keep it together. This is daytime TV." But Joy isn't finished. "If you can't handle tough questions," Joy says, "maybe you should stick to scripted roles where someone tells you exactly what to say." Mila's breath catches. She sits taller, voice steadying like a blade sharpened by heat. "You think scripted roles are easy? You think actors hide behind their lines? No, we expose ourselves for the world. You, Joy," Joy stiffens. "You hide behind this table, behind that mug, behind just asking questions." The audience reacts in a mixture of shock and thrill, when really you're just afraid of being vulnerable. Joy's hand freezes around her mug. Her voice cracks before she catches it. "Vulnerable? Please, Mila. I'm the only one here who says what she actually thinks." "That's not vulnerability," Mila says. "That's defense." Joy shifts uncomfortably. "Oh, give me a break." But Mila leans in, eyes softened now. Not pity, but understanding. "You lash out because you think honesty is a shield. But people can be honest and kind. Honest and gentle. Honest and open." Joy looks away briefly, only for a second, but the camera catches it. A flicker of something raw. Mila continues, softer. "Maybe the world would hear you better if you didn't swing first." Joy's mouth opens to respond, but nothing comes out. The silence stretches. The audience senses the emotional shift. Producers whisper furiously into headsets. Camera ops exchange looks. Whoopi clears her throat loudly. All right. We need a break." But Joy suddenly straightens, reclaiming her fire. "No," she says. "Let's finish this." Mila meets her gaze without flinching. Joy turns to her fully. "You want vulnerability? Fine. I'll give you something. I push because I've dealt with decades of guest dodging, lying, pretending. I push because no one pushed me when I was young. I push so people stop performing." Mila holds her eyes. "Then don't confuse performance with self-protection." Joy's voice tightens. "And don't confuse questioning with attack." Whoopi waves toward the control booth in desperation. "Guys, commercial now!" But the red light on camera one stays on. Joy notices. She swallows. "Of course they're not cutting. This is ratings gold." Mila shakes her head. "This isn't gold, Joy. It's two people trying to win instead of understand." Joy's breath fractures, not visibly, but Mila feels it. "Maybe," Joy says quietly. "I just expect too much from people." Or, Mila replies gently, "maybe you expect too little from yourself." Joy freezes. The microphone picks up the tiny breath she inhales, a fragile sound swallowed by the tension. For a moment, neither woman speaks. The silence is heavier than the argument. Finally, Mila looks away first, not because she's backing down, but because she's choosing peace. She whispers, "I didn't come here to fight you." Joy whispers back, "But you did." Mila meets her eyes again. "No, I just didn't let you fight me." The moment hangs between them, raw, uncomfortable, painfully real. Someone in the control room finally hits the button. The screen transitions to commercial. The hosts sit frozen under the bright studio lights. And for the first time all morning, Joy Behar looks shaken. Mila Kunis looks exhausted. The commercial break sign flashes across the studio monitors, but the tension doesn't fade with the cameras. If anything, the silence deepens. Mila sits perfectly still, hands folded tightly in her lap. Joy stares ahead, expression locked but trembling slightly around the edges. Something only visible up close, something the cameras could never quite catch. Crew members rush forward, pretending not to notice the atmosphere buzzing like an overcharged wire. The sound tech adjusts a mic that doesn't need adjusting. A production assistant places a water bottle beside Joy with a hesitant smile. Another offers Mila a tissue she doesn't take. Whoopi exhales hard. "Well, that was something." Mila closes her eyes briefly, regrouping. Joy doesn't speak. She keeps her gaze on the card in front of her, reading a line over and over again without absorbing a single word. Sunny leans in carefully, her tone soft. "Joy, you okay?" Joy lifts her chin, her voice a brittle whisper. "I'm fine," but no one believes it. The floor manager walks up to the table, clutching the cue pad like a shield. Ladies, we need to figure out how we're returning from break. The control room wants to know if we're sticking with segment 3 or pivoting." "Pivoting," Sarah says immediately, pressing a hand to her chest. "Please pivot. Let's talk about puppies, chocolate, weather, literally anything." Whoopi shakes her head. "We can't just pretend it didn't happen." Mila finally speaks, voice quiet but steady. "We shouldn't pretend, but we also shouldn't escalate." Joy huffs a sharp exhale. "Escalate? That was mild, sweetheart." Mila turns her head, meeting her eyes. "Then why are your hands shaking?" Joy freezes. She curls her fingers under the table. Out of sight, too late. Whoopi intervenes gently. "Mila, honey, give her a minute." Mila nods and looks away, visibly wrestling with something larger than irritation, a complicated mix of empathy, guilt, and stubbornness. Joy breaks the silence. "You know what I think?" she says, voice cracking despite her best efforts. "I think you're used to being adored. I think you're used to people nodding at everything you say. And when someone doesn't, when someone challenges you, you call it an ambush." Mila stares at her for a long moment. "You want to know what I think? You're used to being the person who gets the last word, the one who gets to poke and prod, and nobody pushes back because you're Joy Behar of The View. And when someone finally stands their ground, you call it disrespect." Their words fall like stones into water. The ripples spread. The crew around them shifts uncomfortably. Sunny looks between them with worry etched deep across her face. "We can't go back on air like this." But the floor manager hears something in the control room and holds up a finger. "1 minute." Joy and Mila both inhale sharply. Whoopi shakes her head. "This is ridiculous. Somebody, anybody, go tell the control room to give us more time." Before anyone can move, a voice bursts from a speaker overhead. "Back in 30 seconds." Panic washes over the table. Mila leans forward, her voice hushed but firm. "Joy, we need to figure out how to talk to each other without blowing up again." Joy stares at her. "You think I'm the problem?" "I think we both are," Mila says. "You're used to fighting. I'm used to defending. Neither of us is used to losing." Joy blinks. The truth of it lands. Sarah whispers urgently. "Can we please do a light segment? Can we talk about the holiday cookie contest or literally anything less explosive?" But the choice is already gone. The red studio light clicks on. The View is live again. Whoopi straightens instantly. "Welcome back. We were having a spirited discussion before the break." The audience laughs nervously, sensing the quake beneath the surface. Joy sits tall, chin lifted, eyes sharper than before. Mila braces, expecting another jab. But Joy surprises everyone. She turns to her, voice measured. Mila, I want to pick up where we left off, but not to fight. The studio freezes. Mila lifts her eyebrows, caught off guard. Okay. Joy takes a breath that shakes more than she wants it to. You said something before the break, that I hide behind this table, that I use honesty as a shield. Mila nods slightly, unsure where this is going. Joy continues. Maybe you're right. I've had a long career. I've seen a lot, and asking tough questions became my armor. Mila's expression softens. Joy adds, but I wasn't trying to attack you. I genuinely wanted to understand why you said you regretted your old roles. A lot of people out there wondered too. Mila exhales slowly, grateful for the slight opening. Then let me answer honestly, not defensively. Go ahead, Joy says. Mila folds her hands. When I said I didn't know what I was thinking, I meant I didn't know what kind of artist I was yet. Not that the projects were bad or the people were bad. I was young, I was eager, and sometimes I didn't choose from